Have you ever looked out your window early in the morning and noticed the same birds arriving at the same spot, almost as if they had checked a schedule? Maybe it happens just after sunrise. The feeder swings gently in the cool air, and within minutes the first visitor appears. Then another and another. Day after day they return with such precision that it almost feels impossible. How do they know where to go, and why do they keep coming back to exactly the same place every morning? It turns out that what looks like a simple daily routine is actually the result of remarkable abilities hidden inside creatures that weigh less than a handful of coins. Wild birds live in a world where every day begins with a challenge. Through the long hours of darkness, they have gone without food. Tiny bodies burn energy constantly just to stay warm. By the time dawn arrives, many birds have already used a large portion of the fuel that kept them alive through the night. Morning is not just another part of the day for them. It is one of the most important moments for survival. That is why the first hours after sunrise are often filled with activity. Birds need food quickly. Every minute spent searching matters. And when a bird discovers a reliable source of food, it remembers. Scientists have spent decades studying bird memory, and the results are astonishing. Many species possess highly developed spatial memory, allowing them to remember locations with incredible accuracy. Some birds can recall hundreds or even thousands of food storage sites. Others remember feeding locations they have visited repeatedly over long periods of time. Imagine a chickadee visiting a feeder near a backyard fence. The bird is not simply remembering a pile of seeds. It is creating a detailed mental map, the shape of the tree nearby, the angle of the fence, the color of the roof behind the yard, the position of a garden path. All of these landmarks become part of a navigation system stored inside its brain. The next morning, when the sun begins to rise, that mental map helps guide the bird right back to the same location. But memory is only part of the story. Birds are also experts at recognizing patterns. The natural world operates on rhythms. Sunrise follows darkness. Seasons follow one another. Flowers bloom at predictable times. Insects emerge according to temperature and weather. Birds evolved within these rhythms, and many species possess internal biological clocks that help them anticipate daily events. This means a bird does not simply react to morning. It often expects morning. If food has consistently appeared at a feeder around dawn, birds begin incorporating that information into their daily routines. Over time, visiting that feeder becomes one stop in a carefully organized schedule. A robin crossing a neighborhood lawn may know where worms are easiest to find after rain. A hummingbird may visit a sequence of flowers in nearly the same order every day. A sparrow may check several reliable feeding spots before settling into the rest of its morning activities. To us, it might seem surprising that such small animals can maintain these routines. Yet from the bird's perspective, predictability saves energy, and saving energy can mean the difference between life and death. Think about walking into your kitchen, half asleep and reaching for the same coffee mug without thinking. You do not search every cupboard, you go directly to what has worked before. Birds often behave in a similar way. They return to locations with a proven history of success. Researchers have even observed something fascinating. Birds do not keep this information entirely to themselves. Many species pay close attention to one another. When one bird discovers a dependable food source, others may notice. A successful feeding spot can gradually attract a small community of regular visitors. This is why a feeder that begins with a single curious bird may eventually become a busy gathering place. One bird arrives. Others observe. Word spreads in the unique language of animal behavior. Not through conversations, of course, but through movement, observation, and repetition. Soon the feeder becomes part of the landscape itself. There is another reason birds return so faithfully, and it involves something many people overlook. Safety. Finding food is important. Finding food without becoming food is even more important. Every visit to a new location carries risk. Predators may be hiding nearby. Escape routes may be unclear. The surroundings may contain unfamiliar dangers, but when birds repeatedly visit a feeder without encountering threats, they gain confidence in that location. They learn where the nearest tree is. They know which branches provide cover. They understand how to leave quickly if danger appears. Imagine a finch perched on a feeder pole. From that position, it has already memorized the nearby shrubs and branches. If a hawk suddenly enters the area, the finch knows exactly where to fly. Familiarity reduces uncertainty. This means a trusted feeding spot offers more than food. It offers knowledge, and knowledge is valuable in the wild. As the seasons change, these habits can become even more noticeable. During winter, food is often harder to find. natural seed supplies shrink, insects become scarce, cold temperatures increase energy demands. Under these conditions, reliable feeders become especially important. A feeder that seems like a pleasant backyard addition to us may represent a dependable lifeline to a small bird facing freezing temperatures. That is one reason many birdwatchers notice remarkably punctual visits during colder months. The birds are not merely stopping by. They are following routines shaped by necessity. And yet, despite all the science behind these behaviors, there is still something quietly beautiful about watching it happen. Every morning, long before most neighborhoods fully wake up, countless birds are already navigating invisible maps. They are remembering landmarks, tracking time, evaluating safety, and making decisions that help them survive another day. If you enjoy discovering stories like these hidden within the natural world, consider subscribing to Global Wild Origins. It is wonderful to share these moments with people who look at wildlife not just with curiosity, but with genuine appreciation. The next time you see a bird arrive at the same feeder right on schedule, you may notice something different. What appears to be a simple visit is actually the final step in a chain of memory, learning, experience, and instinct. That small visitor did not arrive there by accident. It carried a map in its mind. It trusted lessons learned from previous mornings. It followed rhythms older than cities, older than roads, older than almost everything built by human hands, and perhaps that is what makes the sight so special. A bird landing on a feeder may seem like an ordinary moment. Yet hidden inside that moment is a story of survival, intelligence, and connection to a world that still runs according to ancient patterns. So tomorrow morning, when the first light spills across the yard and familiar wings appear once again in that familiar place, remember that you are witnessing far more than a search for breakfast. You are watching memory take flight.